Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Game From Scratch with some game development news that, well, technically isn't that new. I'll come to the explanation in just a moment, but we're talking today about audio middleware. Now, you've probably heard of Fmod before. It's been used in an absolute ton of games. This is probably the prevalent leader when it comes to games. As you can see, some of the people using it and some of the games that were created with it, it is probably the AAA audio middleware. But there is another player in this space, of course, and that is what we were talking about today. This is from Audio Kinetic, who I learned is a Canadian company, which is cool, and it's pronounced Wise. I never knew that either, so this is a wise thing to learn. I used to call it Wwise. I never knew how to pronounce a word before, but this is another audio middleware solution. It's not exactly like their a bit player in this space. They've actually been used to make a ton of games as well. And most importantly, they're actually in just about every engine you can imagine out there. Unity, Unreal Engine, CryEngine, the Godot Game Engine, Game Maker, you name it, and Wise probably have support for it. So it's also on pretty much all the major platforms, including all the newest consoles, virtual reality devices, all the major desktop, all the major mobiles, and so on. So why exactly are we talking about Wise today? Well, that would be because of this. Now, this happened in December of 2020, and that was Fmod, their major competitor, went free. Asterisk. Well, Wise just kind of did the same thing. So this is for indie developers. Fmod went free back at the end of 2020. Earlier on this year, Wwise did the same thing, or Wise. I'm sorry, it's a whole old habit. I'm going to keep calling it Wwise. So Wise did the same thing. Now, they used to have a starter license, and what they did is they replaced it with an indie license. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this as news that isn't new, this actually happened like 5 or 6 months ago. They just never bothered telling anyone. So a bunch of people on the Game From Scratch Discord forum informed me that this actually occurred, and then I actually got the notification myself following on. So I figured, you know what, even though I've never covered it before, even though this has just been true for about 6 or 7 months now, I'll cover it now. So if you've been interested in checking out audio middleware, you can now get it for free. Now, the thing I don't like with this, I watched the video that is linked right here, the Getting Started video, or the Learn More video right here, and it sounds like you got to register and get approved first before you can get access. In my opinion, this is really stupid. They're not going to really get any sales out there. All they're really doing is kind of hooking themselves into your life. And when people are evaluating software, you don't want a salesperson hooked into your life. So I really hope that that isn't the case, or that doesn't stay the case. But they used to have something called the starter license, which was good for up to $150K production budget and had limitations on the number of audio nodes you could actually have in your project. Those limitations are all gone. So there's literally no limitations, there's a free trial here. I don't really get the point because that's not really necessary, but it now has unlimited sound files and media assets in this, and they also bumped up the production budget up to $250,000. Now, the production budget means money that went towards creating your game. So this doesn't include things like marketing or legal or those kind of things. This is literally just to hire developers working on stuff. That kind of stuff is what production budget is. So one of those things that you're going to want to, I suppose you can talk to them about that and find out specifically what would qualify under which budget. But basically, if you're an indie developer with a less than $250,000 budget on your game, you can use Wwise for free. And if you go beyond that, you start seeing the kind of price for middleware. Pro version starts at $7,000 US. Premium is $22,000, and Platinum is $40,000. Now, in a lot of cases, those are for things like access to all the premium plugins, which, by the way, you can still buy premium plugins. At least they said that you could buy them in the video, but it doesn't look like you can get them here. So they kind of are contradicting themselves in terms of their own table versus what they're saying in their video. But the big thing here is things like support and source code access. You can still get support, you're just paying for it. So if you're looking for a more comprehensive middleware solution for audio, that is what Wwise is all about. Now, again, the details of this guy, it is advanced feature-rich audio, interactive audio. It's for doing things like you can play background noises in your scene. You can have programmatic spatial audio. It's kind of just a very advanced authoring and sound placement and mixing tool for doing audio in your world. Again, including things like spatial audio, interactive music. There are APIs to work with this as well. So again, when you have that Unreal and Unity integration, your code can actually hook into the stuff that you've authored here as well. You can array of synthesizers for designing your own sounds within it. There are a number of plugins available. Again, they're a little contradictory on if plugin support is actually in the indie version of this. So that is kind of the idea behind it. It has been around for a very long time. As we saw earlier on, it is on most major game engines. There is an open source Godot project for implementing Wise. There's also, again, Unity and Unreal. Both also have coverage as well, as does the O3D game engine, which is actually kind of important because O3D doesn't actually have an audio solution out of the box. They're still working on that. And then again, it's on every major platform you would be interested in. So if you're interested, you can go ahead, you can get the download and get at least the trial going and check out, see what you like of it. And there is now this new indie gaming license available. So if you wanted to check out Wwise or Wise, now is probably the best time to do it. So again, they did this back in the summer, but they just notified people via email like 20 minutes ago. So that's why I am covering it today. If you're interested in learning more, again, it works with just about every game engine out there, and you just go ahead and download it right here. There is a decent documentation to get going, but you do need to have an account, which is a little bit frustrating. I don't know why you account lock your documentation. Can you think of a good reason? If you can, do let me know in the comments down below why you would like wall off your documentation from the world. But Audio Kinetic has made Wwise available for indie developers. Again, they technically did this a number of months in the past, but they just told people about it now, and I'm just telling you about it now. Have you used Wise and have you used Fmod? And if so, which one do you like better? Let me know that as well, and I shall talk to you all later. Goodbye.